Welcome back, people. It is episode 16 of season 4 of the Taxi Squad podcast. It's currently April 17th. You'll be hearing this on April 18th, one day closer to Chicago Mike being back in the motherland. With all that being said, no matter where you're listening, hit that bell, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to see these beautiful fotches, you could do so on YouTube, which is our channel, the Taxi Squad podcast, every Thursday. With all of that being said, we got a fair amount to get into today. We got a strange and unusual about a former football player. We have some MLB talk, real Chicago baseball talk today. And then the NBA play-in tournament and everything you've been waiting for the NFL, the mock draft of the Taxi Squad podcast. We are back, people.
Come on, everybody, celebrate. The Taxi Squad is here today. So lose the blues, kick back and relax for now. They talk about sports and stupid stuff. They'll probably be wrong and it might get rough. So welcome back, it's the Taxi Squad, yeah.
Vinny boy, how we doing?
I'm good, dude. I'm good.
Good, man.
I had a nice weekend. I went for a Huggies for Chuggies party. First one of those I've been to. You give Huggies, you get Chuggies.
Cute.
I got sick.
You got sick?
I got a little bit of a sinus thing going on right now.
Oh,
I'd like to blame it
on.
I'd like to blame it on the cigar that I had on Saturday. Every
Wasn't it
time
like-
Sorry,
Huh?
go ahead.
No, wasn't it like 80 there though?
It was, yes.
Okay.
But I do have a thing where every time I smoke a cigar, and I enjoy it, but I don't think it
Great.
maybe is the best thing for me, because every time I smoke a cigar, I feel gross inside. And like I've, smoked other things in my life, and I don't have that issue, but for some reason cigars do it for me.
I can't do a cigar like 2 nights in a row.
Yeah,
I do it probably once or twice a month, and I'm cool.
sure.
Beyond that, yeah, it'll give you a little goofball. But I mean, hey, when you get 35-degree temperature swings, chances
Yeah.
are your nose holes are not going to be very, recommended to do that sort
You're
of
probably
thing.
right.
And with all of that, I mean, hey, that's what it comes with in Chicagoland. I mean, every time I lived there in the past 31 years, I had that same issue.
Yeah.
So it's just par for course at this stage of the game. I'm coming back for almost 2 weeks. I hope I don't get something, Hey,
Yeah, how are you, beach boy?
Oh, man. Stepped away for a little bit. Went to the U.S. Virgin Islands. It was beautiful.
Nice. See
Celebrated.
Epstein?
Saw the island.
Ooh.
Saw
Sure
the island. Yeah, from where the rooftop pool was, looking out over the islands, you could see, I believe it's St. Croix or whatever it was. You could see the Epstein Island.
Ooh.
Little goofy. Like at one point we could see like the temple where we were on the boat. We were on a where were we? What are those boats? It was fantastic. Catamaran. We were on a catamaran. They were like, if you look to your left, boom.
You'll
there
see
it is.
where Bill Clinton should be incriminated.
Yeah, right. So, like, I guess we were right there. They explained that someone had bought the island.
Yeah, I think so. And then
someone bought it.
They didn't allow anybody to clean it up or something for a while, and then all they got from it was that everybody that should be guilty is totally fine and good, and now someone bought it, and I think they're able to like clean it all up. So, yeah, I think we're going to go by and not learn anything about the people that did these disgusting things. But that's America, baby.
Conspiracy podcast? Potentially? Tinfoil hat day?
We say that, but we do bring up conspiracies a lot to not be a conspiracy podcast.
It was very interesting. They were saying that there's like certain ports of that island that had like underwater entrances and like really like weird shit. But I will say, if you're going to do some illegal things, it's a good spot to do it.
Yeah.
You're in the
Not saying
middle
you
of
should,
nowhere.
but I'm saying that that's a good spot to do it.
Correct.
It's
Yes.
also a good idea to do underwater tunnels when you go to a illegal sex island. So probably good that they did that. In retrospect, not good that they were doing any of that, but, if you're going to
Some
be
say
disgusting.
Some say Diddy bought it. Some say Diddy bought it.
Looks like they're going to keep doing the kind of shit they've been doing then, I guess. So good for them, I suppose.
The world's a crazy place.
Gross. It's
And
gross most of the time.
It is a gross place. And this man that we're about to discuss now did some pretty gross things. But he also won a Heisman Trophy.
True. Very true.
And in that mode, people, we bid adieu to the one and only O.J. Simpson.
Woo!
All right, he's dead. He's
Welcome
dead.
to
It's like the Wicked Witch.
to hell, brother. Is this the first celebrity death that you can remember that everybody resorted to jokes immediately?
Yeah, no, not really.
I fired him off right away. I was like, I got to get my jokes off. I saw it and I was like, oh, that's silly that OJ died. Like, I didn't have any remorse or anything.
I think he got to hell and he was like, "What's up, Satan World?"
Yeah,
Like,
probably. I've saw that a couple times. It's like, what up, Heaven World? And like, it's RIH, brother. It's not RIP.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I don't.
Unfortunately.
I don't think. Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, no. For that guy, the atrocities in his life.
Yeah. It's common knowledge he did it at this point, right? Like, that was
Yeah.
bad timing. We've all watched the documentaries and shit. It was bad timing when it happened because it was very there was a lot of race battles going on at the time, and then he was kind of stuck in the middle of it, and then people were like, he didn't do it. When in reality, he definitely did it.
Yeah, and then you had Johnny Cochran out there fucking smoking out nursery rhymes, just like, if the glove doesn't fit, you must
You got
quit.
to quit.
And
Yeah.
it's like, this man is a grown ass lawyer, and he's
Yeah.
out here just throwing out nursery rhymes.
Listen, we would never, ever, ever have Kim Kardashian, that entire family, if it wasn't for this man murdering his girlfriend / wife and a waiter.
Do you know the Kardashian? Do you know the Kardashian conspiracy with OJ?
No. Oh, that Chris had Chloe with him?
Hmm.
Yeah, I saw that a lot too. She was catching some shrapnel. I kind of felt bad about that a little bit, but then I realized they're a Kardashian, and it is what it is.
See, that whole family had to sell their soul in some capacity.
Yeah, or their butt, like Kim.
Yeah. I mean, isn't it amazing, though, that Chris, pretty much just sold her children off to major Hollywood?
Now it's what everybody's
order
doing on
for-
social media for no money.
Yeah. Yeah, the
It's
world
kinda
is an
everybody
interest-
doing it.
The world is a very dark place and interesting place that we live in. But it's nice when the light things happen, like OJ dying.
Dying,
Right?
which is a funny, light little thing that happened, which is cool.
Yes.
Some of the good things about OJ, did win a Heisman, as you said. He essentially was the first major running back in Buffalo Bills history. Gave them hope in a time of no hope. He had the slowest cop chase ever.
Ford Bronco. All the
First-
jokes were coming out about the stretch Ford Bronco
Yep.
that he would be.
Yeah, slowest car chase to not be acquitted for sure. Running from the cops should be, enough to have to go to jail. But regardless, he also was the most probably recognizable face in America before that, just commercially. And then he became the most recognizable face in America right after that for something completely different.
Well, he was the first major athlete next to Jesse Ventura,
Yeah.
right? Who was in mega movies.
Yeah. Right. He
And
became
was,
a real
in
actor.
large Hollywood films. He's in all the Naked Gun movies. He was one of the first.
He was
in
kind
that
of ass
arena.
at acting, though.
And he was OJ.
Yeah.
Everybody
That's
loved
true.
him.
He's the juice,
He's a
baby.
USC guy. He's great. Great hype, all this stuff, and then you stab people, and there
Even
you
if
go.
you keep the glove on, juice goes bad. You know what I'm saying? And that happened this time.
Have you ever seen the interview that he did? I think it was with Robin Roberts, where he
Yeah.
walked
Oh,
in
yeah.
the room and he was like, and
No,
ha,
because
ha, ha.
she asked him or whatever, and he was like, "No, I didn't do that." Blah blah blah. Then after it, he's like, "Just joking." Through the glass. It's insane. I mean, he did play into it. And you remember the book that he came out with that was If I Did It, but it just, on the cover, it just said, I did it. And then in the I, there was like tiny little type font that said if. It's hilarious.
It's just wild.
Yeah.
The things as Americans we overlook, you know?
First man to
It's
get a
OJ.
Heisman redacted.
Go ahead.
First man to get a Heisman redacted.
So what is it, like OJ and Reggie Bush?
That's it, I think.
Isn't that ironic that both are USC running backs?
Yeah. Both are the two best USC running backs, some would say.
Ever.
Marcus
No,
Allen,
hands
was he
down.
USC?
Yeah, he was. I think you're correct.
He could be up there too. He also was probably the first major televised like court case, right? I mean, granted, I was born in 1995, so this is all relative.
I was born in 91. I mean, so
Right.
we weren't necessarily far off in that sense. So
Right.
I think it was in 95 when all that went down. So I was a ripe age of 4.
Yeah.
Um,
My mom
with-
gave birth to me when OJ was putting the glove on, essentially.
Exactly. That's what she. No, never mind. Love you.
Chill.
Either way,
chill
she'll
out.
beat
Chill
my ass
out.
the next time I see
Take
her.
a
She knows
lap.
that.
She'll beat your ass. Take a lap.
Either way, with all that being said, it was to your point, like the first major documented court case of a
Yeah.
superstar in America ever. And I mean, it got great ratings. I mean, for some people, they're like that was my childhood. I remember watching that.
Yep.
People tuned in, got awesome television ratings.
They
But-
live streamed the chase. That wasn't even a chase. It was kind of like a roll. Like all the boys were just chilling.
Yeah, that's when the news was real. When they would really report that stuff today, it was just like, whatever.
Today
You know,
it's
it
like,
was-
you see what this guy did? It's like, leave me alone.
It'd be on TMZ before anything. But
Oh, yeah.
yeah, the smut of television really began there and just kind of went.
Yeah, I could agree with that. I mean, I feel like
Well, and then after that, it was Johnny Depp and what's her nuts that was the most recent.
Amber Heard.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had a couple
was-
of them, though, dude. We had a couple of them. So
Did we?
people have
I
done
missed
some
a
illegal
couple.
things.
Yeah, I feel as if it's always a distraction for something larger going on. Like, for example,
Pete
this
Diddler.
country's P. Diddler. This country's potentially on the brink of World War III. No
Okay.
big deal.
The
No,
thing,
it's true.
I
true.
know.
Google it.
Listen. Well, right.
What?
Every 3-4 months, World War III is trending on Twitter.
Yeah.
Always. It's World War III every single, essentially it's quarterly. It's like, did you check in for Q1's World War III? And everybody has to sign in and say yeah, confirmed. This is bad. I will agree. It is getting kind of wild. World War III, though, I will temper that. I won't believe it until there's the devil's on our doorstep at this point, because it's just been boy who cries wolf for years.
Yeah, never cry shit wolf. But we digress. And speaking of crying shit wolf, we have a modern day Pete Rose.
Follow-up
We-
time. Follow-up
we do.
time. Yeah.
We do. We talked about this, 2 months ago almost now?
Probably 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. It wasn't that
Yeah,
long
so-
ago.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago. We discussed Jontay Porter,
Yep.
brother of Michael Porter. on the
MPJ, yep.
Denver- Yeah, on the Denver Nuggets, right?
Uh-huh.
Bulls could have drafted him, by the way, but they didn't.
Yeah, it wouldn't
fun
have done
fact.
anything for us anyway.
Yeah, you got a point. Either way, banned for life for betting on the Raptors to lose.
To lose, dude. That's the rough part. You can make an argument for a guy like Calvin Ridley betting on the Falcons to win when he wasn't playing. You can make an argument for a guy betting on his team to win. The minute you bet on your team to lose, you're like, you did. That's bad. He's banned for life. He's never coming back to the NBA. I don't think he's really going to be missed. Raptors Nation probably hates him more because he bet on them to lose. But yeah, this is kind of funny. And also, obviously, dude, what did you think would happen if you bet on your team to lose? You'd get caught. Everybody gets caught. That's what legalized sports betting is. And again, this is the argument I always want to make, because people are going to be like, this is why sports betting shouldn't be legal, blah, blah, blah. This shit was still happening. It just wasn't happening on FanDuel. It was happening with Joe Schmo down the block. That's your bookie. And it
It
gets
was
a lot worse that way. Like, it's
was
always been
happening-
happening. Now people are just able to catch people. It's essentially all it
Well,
is.
let's call a spade a spade. It was the mob, and they handled that across the major U.S. for
Yeah.
many years.
Black Sox,
So-
baby.
Black Sox, you look at guys like Michael Franzese,
Yeah.
former mob boss. He explains that whole thing. They would
yeah.
take guys in out of college, and then if they go into the show and they're in so much debt, then you're in debt to those people
Right.
forever, unless you want a 22 in the back of the skull.
Right.
So with all that, hey, at least he's not getting that. He could probably go play in Europe.
Yeah.
So
That's
the
the
world
thing, though.
isn't necessarily
He's
over.
not like a top tier talent. Like, he will get a job somewhere else, but like,
Yeah.
out of the brothers, like, he definitely got the short straw.
Yeah.
But it's just like, hey, man, like, this is gonna happen. That's the thing. Like, you can't feel bad for him at all. Like, there's no bit of my body that's like, oh, that stinks for him. It's like, no.
He
It's
is
kinda what happens.
He is Tito Jackson to Michael Jackson, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
for
He's
sure.
totally Tito.
That's giving MPJ a lot of praise, but I understand the reference.
I mean, I'm just saying, if we're talking in music terms,
yeah.
he's totally Tito. So Tito will come out with an album or two, and he'll probably go play in Europe, and everything's good. You know who's going to be up next, but it won't stick because he's Teflon?
I don't agree with you.
Well, we got to get into it, Vince.
Yeah.
Eventually. I mean, maybe not this podcast, but
So-
if you've seen what's going on with Shohei Ohtani, a.k.a. the Teflon Ohtani,
Yeah.
a lot more money was missing that they originally.
Ippei's doing the court thing now. Ippei's going through the system. 16 mil.
They originally thought it was 3.
But the thing is
Now
they're
it's
active.
16.
They're actively investigating it, and their takeaway so far is that Ohtani still has nothing to do with it. Because you got to remember, this is federal too. It's not just the MLB doing an investigation. Like, this is high theft. Like, this guy can go to jail for a long time. Like, I don't know if they're gonna use. I don't know if he's gonna be a fall guy for 16 mil. That's fucking wild.
He will totally be a fall guy for 16 mil.
What, and go to jail for
that's
30 years? That ends his life.
I don't think he'll just defect back to Japan. Done. I mean,
He
then
probably
it
will go
won't
to
stick
jail.
at all.
He's probably gonna go
Well,
to jail because all the
He's
crimes were
already
done
on a
in the
plane back to
U.S.
Japan. Yeah, but they'd have to extradite him back. And if he is already back in Japan, which I believe he is,
Is he? I thought he was literally in court right now.
well, either way, he fucked up because once these charges would have started, my ass would have been directly back to Japan.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, run and then be like, force me to come back, man. I mean, he obviously doesn't have a job here. I don't think Ohtani's going to get in trouble, and for what it's worth, I don't think he did it either.
Oh man,
We're
If this
gonna
guy
agree
comes
to
out to be the
disagree on
next.
that.
I'm just saying, if he comes out to be the next Pete Rose, I told you so. All right.
Hey, Pete
I
Rose
was
is.
right about this Jontay Porter. I called this shit.
We all knew
3 weeks
that,
ago.
though.
No, you didn't. You
Yes,
defended
I
it
did.
as well. Well, technically,
No, I didn't. No, I did not. I said the
Vince,
same
we
thing
could
I
go
just
back
said.
and listen. We could go back and listen to it.
Okay, we'll
You
do that when we're
defended it.
together next week. We'll give it a
You
listen.
yeah, we're gonna have to go back to the Jontay
I don't think
Porter
I don't think
saga
I
of
defended
Vince and
him
Mike.
because when it's this cut and dry, it's obvious. The Shohei one's way less cut and dry. It
We were
is.
betting on games he was playing in, Vince.
Well, Jontay Porter was betting on NBA games.
How
We
do
already
you-
knew that.
I know you have people managing your money when you're this big, and I understand. that
Yeah.
When you make that much money, it's coming in from different streams between
Yep.
advertising, your salary, and this and that. You don't. I check my bank account every day. You don't.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. What? Just because you make that amount of money, you just fuck it?
Well, I mean, I feel this is going to sound insane, but like $16 million over a period of time. Because again, he wasn't just taking out $16 million one time. It was a period of time.
Ippei was calling the bank,
Yeah.
pretending to be Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah, definitely possible.
Somebody had to give him authorization, is all I'm saying.
He knew everything about the guy. We'll wait and
Say
get some more
it
facts.
right now, it's not gonna stick. Just due to the fact this fucking guy is way too big. It's like exactly what they did. They might send him back to Japan for a year, a la Michael Jordan on the Bulls.
No, can't do that with today's social media and shit. People find shit out too quickly. The thing is I do think he would be Teflon Otan, but I don't think they would have to send him back for a year because then everybody would know why they did it. I think what they would do is just let him keep playing and call it a day. If he
Not
did,
many
that's the thing. If he
question
did it,
MJ.
he could. Yeah, but you're also not he had a reason. Oh, I'm going to play basketball, or I'm going to play baseball rather. And that was when he was 10 years into the league. Otani's what, 4? And he's not going to go play basketball.
What if he goes and plays basketball in Japan?
He wants to be closer to his wife.
Closer to his wife for just
Yeah.
a year, and I want to go try out basketball to be the exact opposite of MJ.
That'd be sick.
And now we have M. John Otan over here.
M. John Otan. I like that. Coin it. Trademark it.
Right?
No one take it. No one take it, please.
Well, exactly. So with that, I digress. Let's talk about some baseball, shall
Yeah. Let's do it. Let's get positive.
we? We're going the exact opposite. So
Are the White
Vince,
Sox the worst in the league, Mike? Are the White Sox the worst team ever?
Statistically, they could be if the run they're on right now continues.
Yep.
So if you look at the White Sox right now, they won today, one game of their doubleheader. Eloy Jimenez came back. He was questioned by the Chicago media, and it was brought up, can you run? And he gave a long-winded answer about if he felt comfortable running full tilt to first base. The man's made of just paper mache.
Glass.
It is horrible.
Glass bones. Like I'm generally more on the optimism side for most things. Some fun little statistics for you. So the White Sox are 3-15 now. And I say this with the caveat that it is the beginning of the season and many things change between now and September. I get it. But historically bad run. I think best batting average on the team right now is 214, something like that, 275 maybe for 40 at bats. What ESPN considers to be the team leader based on the certain percentage of at bats you need. Team leader Andrew Benintendi with a 175. On base percentage 236. Andrew Vaughn, congrats. Hits 11. RBIs 9. Paul DeYoung leading the team in home runs. White Sox 3-15 right now. Good enough to be the worst in the league with a 1.167 win percentage. The worst ever, you ask, is the Philadelphia Athletics from 1916, who went 37-117 and 235 win percentage. Now, obviously, it's a long time ago. It's over 100 years ago. So let's move it to since 2000. Since 2000, the Detroit Tigers, 2003, 43-119, 265 win percentage. Considerably below that is 167, where the White Sox are at. This has the opportunity to be the actual worst team ever, which I'm not rooting for it because that's depressing, but also I'd laugh because Jerry's such an ass.
Vinny Marron. That's all I got.
Marron. Get him
It's so
here.
bad. It's so bad. I don't even it's so bad, and we've discussed it when the only thing you can market is your $17 milkshake. And
S'mores milkshake, man.
They should just start putting like a cigar bar in right field or a nightclub in that little, bleachers area underneath.
Let people smoke again.
Let people smoke again.
That'd be crazy. Just cigs all over the park. It's like 1942 all over again.
Just throw it all out the fucking window at this point because their
Oh, man.
attendance is abysmal. It's disgusting. Like if you look at every game, it's like 5 people are there.
Yeah.
And now it's just coming out and more is coming out. They're going to rework their TV deal with NBC Sports Chicago. So who knows if they're even going to televise the games next year?
They're blacking out games right now. Dude, it's a sad sight. And Jerry's getting everything he
They're
wants.
blacking out games right now?
Yeah, there's like certain ones that I can't watch I could if I'm like watching TV, but like on MLB TV when I throw my VPN on, Like if you tried to watch from Arizona, you would have no shot.
Well, no, and you can't watch from Arizona.
Yeah.
A lot of teams are switching to this mold of like pay to watch, and
Yeah.
you spend
Fucking
$100 for the
marquee.
year. Well, this is where all of it's going. You have your own network, you have this, but if you're the White Sox, it's truly one of these situations where people aren't even going to pay. The fans aren't going to pay.
Well, dude, that's the whole thing. It's like this has been, and it's the same thing with the Athletics, and it's the same playbook he's trying. And again, I've gone over this too many times, so I'm not going to get into it again. But he's playing the no one's coming to the games. Why invest in the team that no one's coming to the games? Well, maybe if you invest, like, it's like making a product, and the product sucks, but you don't get enough money to make the product better, but you'll get the money if you make the product better. Like, it's very simple. Like, if you make soap and it smells bad, try making soap and it smells good.
Not the players on the field, Vince. Food. Guaranteed rate field at this point might as well be a glorified fucking restaurant.
They got
Just
street
call it-
corn. It slaps.
The elote at that ballpark, outstanding. Some of
Yeah,
the best
Cuban
food
sandwich.
in any.
Yeah.
We could just hang our hat on that. I guess the
Oh,
hot
yeah.
chicken sandwich is new, supposedly just delightful.
Yeah.
I'll be there in a week or two, so I'll fill everybody in on the menu. But with all that being said, we should also talk about more statistics of the Chicago White Sox.
Yeah.
So far this year, we scored a whopping 38 runs.
Yeah, it's
And
good,
that's-
right?
And that's
Yeah.
second worst to the Oakland Athletics, who have scored 56 runs.
Woohoo!
Now, the best in the league, might you ask,
Yeah.
are the Padres at 109 runs scored, which is ultimately surprising considering they got rid of a lot of people. So
Yeah. Well, the cool thing about that is that if you multiply ours by 3, we're just about there. We're just about there. All we have to do is play 3 times the games of the Padres, and we'll score the same amount of runs.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Now, you know what, Vince? We can jump to the opposite side of the city, and I can't even believe we're doing this, but
yeah.
the Cubs right now are doing pretty good. I mean, they've taken 4 of 5 of this road series they've been on,
Yeah.
and they look good. And I hate
11
to
and
say
7?
this I mean, they're not bad. And I know it's
No.
so early to like say, oh, this or that. Craig Counsell, just give it all to him, right? Give it all
I
to
keep
Craig
forgetting
Counsell.
he's the coach still. I keep forgetting that.
He's the manager, Vince.
Yeah.
Take it
He's
easy.
the coach. Sorry.
He's the manager
He's the coach.
of that ball club who jumped from Milwaukee over here.
You honestly probably could do that with some moon shoes on. If you get high enough, you could probably jump from Milwaukee to Chicago.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so.
No, maybe not. We'll try it out.
Maybe we'll give it a shot when I'm in town. Either way, with all that being said,
Yeah.
this team looks good. They have a home series coming back next week. I mean, they could really be in line. All these games count. Don't get me wrong. But I watched this team and I watched their spring training, a couple different games, and it just looks to be a franchise that's investing in their team.
They're moving
They
in the
have
right
one of-
direction. Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
only real qualm you can give them is like questionable pitching. Kyle Hendricks not off to the best start, but like you have guys in
Horrible.
your offense that are producing. You see Cody Bellinger's pants rip more on the uniform saga.
No, what happened? Did his
You know what-
shot come out?
No, he went to go slide into third, and you could just see like his
Schoolie?
what do you call it? No.
Tank?
No, dude. The under the compression shorts. You're getting all excited over there. Settle down, young man. Trying to see that Bellinger booty. Yeah, I mean they're good. They have a good offense. They have good kids coming up. Pete Crow Armstrong. I'm a big fan of that guy still. I think he can still make something of himself. So there's no reason to expect him not to be good. It's just a matter of time. And they might win the division this year. And I've kind of been about that for a couple months now, just looking at that team.
I wouldn't sleep on the Pirates. They have one of the best records.
They are
in
good
baseball.
too.
They look really good.
Speaking
And
of
the other
bad to
Billy-
good, though, how about
Well-
in our division, Kansas City?
Wow. Yeah.
Kansas City,
They may
12
have
and 7.
something there.
Dude, and that's the thing. Like, you got Bobby Witt. Bobby Witt's probably like the most complete 5-tool player in the MLB. Like, his power numbers
Yeah.
aren't insane, but he can hit slams, and he's maybe one of the fastest guys. Like he's a Trey Turner archetype for sure.
He's the Trey Turner, Corey Seager archetype. Everything we hope as White Sox fans, Colson Montgomery becomes. I could say that 5 times fast.
Yeah, he's just not fast enough though. He's more like Seager.
That's fine. You'll take,
I'll take it. Hell yeah,
You'll take that archetype every day. Bobby Witt's, I mean, he's it for them. But once again, the Kansas City, they do this, have like historically over the past 20 years.
Yeah.
Where they go through these cycles where they're absolute horse shit. And then they get like 3 or 4 guys, they put the pitching around, and before you know it, they're competing again.
Yeah. How old is Salvador Perez, you think?
Salvador Perez has been on that team seemingly forever. I'm going to say 33.
How, dude? How did you guess that? I had it in my head that he was 38 years old.
No.
I thought he was nearing 40. 33 on the dot. Congratulations. Smart.
Yeah.
If you look at the makeup of the team that won the World Series, you got Alex Gordon, who was there for a while. Lorenzo Cain was obviously a beast. Like Moustakas, you had, what's the guys? Eric Hosmer, there you go. You had a lot of guys that kind of came into their own, and individually they were pretty good, but altogether they were great. And then that pitching staff was money. So,
yeah.
Like you said, they kind of put that shit together. They're probably not going to end up paying them all because, again, smaller market team. But in a nutshell, dude, I do think they're going to be competing this year. And I expect the Twins to be a little bit better, but the Guardians are going to Guardian. So we are really just deep and down low right now in that division, man.
Well, the one thing we can hang our hat on, back to the whole like thought process of building a team, is that the recent ratings came out on Bleacher Report for top ranked farm teams or farm squads in the MLB, and the White Sox ranked 3rd overall.
I don't get how that's possible. They were like 13th or 14th earlier this year.
That trade for Dylan Cease helped that whole situation out.
Yeah, but how much should we get? Like if you look at it in aggregate, it's like maybe 1 or 2 of those guys are going to work out.
At this stage of the game, you're 100% correct. We looked at what happened with Michael Kopech. We looked at what happened with
Moncada,
Ronaldo
Eloy,
Lopez and Giolito.
Yeah. Yep.
Right. So with that, you may have had the archetype correct, but then you fielded an entire team of first basemen. So it didn't make a lot of sense. It did make a ton of sense. But if you look at it right now, Michael Kopech can be a great trade piece, I think, at the deadline, because if you look at his numbers right now, he is on fire. And he could throw 100 every pitch because he's only throwing 50 pitches, and he
touched 102 the other day. I'll take it.
I mean, when the guy's healthy, he can help a squad. There is no doubt about that. So I think you're going to move Kopech. I think when Robert comes back, you might as well just get rid of him now while he's worth something. Oh,
he's so good, dude.
He's so good when he's on, but you might
if they're
as well.
Gonna pay anybody ever, if they're going to pay anybody ever, just pay that guy.
They already have.
Yeah, but like pay him. When that comes up, like I don't think we should trade him because we're not going to get, like he hasn't hit his peak yet. Like if you're going to trade him at his peak when he's hitting 50 home runs and stealing 25, 30 bases. Like that's what you want because he hasn't even hit 300 yet, and I feel like he does have the option to do that if they stop swinging at everything, which is always the issue, and they change the hitting coach, and that doesn't matter regardless. And also optional stretching. Shout out to Richie for bringing that to my attention. Optional stretching they have, which is cool for soft tissue injuries because optional stretching is probably mandatory on teams that have all of those. And the argument you can make to that is, guys have their own plans going into the game. But to that point, if you're all getting soft tissue injuries, you probably should stretch a little. I'm not saying that's going to cure all, but give it a shot. We'll see if it happens. I'm not going to be the team trainer, but they also don't seem to have one. So there you go.
They also don't have an analytics department, and Grifol has lost the team. You know who's going to be our savior?
Tony La Russa.
Close.
Okay. Another old guy that can't walk.
They just signed him. Tommy Pham.
Oh, yeah.
Woo! Tommy Pham just signed a AAA deal.
Yeah.
He'll be up in a few weeks. A lot of people are saying, Grifal's been on record. Hey, he's a great hitter. He's a great glue guy, and we need that in our locker room right now.
Do you remember when Jerry wanted to fire Grifal, but he didn't want to spend all the money to pay for another coach? That was fun.
Yeah, and it might wind up happening. TLR might be back. He's around the franchise constantly.
Such a
Bill
waste of
Belichick was
time.
recently in the South Side. I don't know if you saw that.
I did it.
Yeah,
Bring
Bill
him in.
Belichick was there. Yeah, they took a picture. It was TLR, Ozzy, and Bill Belichick. And they were like great.
Yeah, all three of those coaches have won, so that's a good way to go about it.
TLR told me we might surprise some people this year.
Yeah,
He
they're
also
surprisingly bad.
Yeah, they're surprisingly fucking horrible. But you know who is actually surprisingly very good is the Cubs first baseman, Michael Busch.
Yeah.
He's on pace to really outpace the rookie home run record right now.
MLB home run record. Michael Busch is on pace to hit 83 home runs this year.
Could it happen? It could happen.
No, it can't. He won't do that, but this is the beauty of the beginning of baseball, is you can look at stats in aggregate and be like, okay, well, we're 18 games in, and he has 8 home runs. So, you take the average of how many games are left. If he hits 8 home runs every 15 games, he's going to hit 83 home runs, essentially. So I'm excited to see that. Babe Ruth's record, or not Babe Ruth, Barry Bonds' record, gone. Aaron Judge's the NL record is going to be gone. He's going to take all of them. Michael Busch, best home run hitter of all time. It's just a matter of time he gets to 800 home runs for a career.
He might be better than Sammy Sosa. You never know.
I think he might be better than Shohei Ohtani. He might be able to pitch.
He has been the entire Cubs offense over the past 7 games.
And their offense looks
RBIs,
good.
Right. Well, that's their thing right now. I mean, they have some semi-decent hitting going on. They're finding ways to win games because last night they were losing 8-5 going into the bottom of the 5th against the Arizona Diamondbacks, who may be moving, by the way.
That was wild.
What
an unnecessary thing.
Came out and just said, well, with the trend of where baseball is going, we may move to a different market.
Yeah, he's just like, it's going that direction. We're not looking at it right now, but all options are open. Maybe we expand the league. Maybe we move. And I'm like, what? Guys, stop. Where? He's like big cities. I'm like, Nashville versus Phoenix? Phoenix is bigger than Nashville, right?
It's growing at an exponential rate, yes.
Why? For what reason? And also the people, the main demographic in Phoenix eats baseball alive.
It's a lot of
whites and you.
Yeah.
Old whites and you. Yeah. That's what we're looking at.
And you. I'm getting close, but take it easy.
No, you're not old. That's why I separated you.
Well, there's
lot
of baseball. There's a lot of baseball in this state, and you can play it year round. So I would be very surprised. But the fact that he just came out and said that after his team went to a World Series, they've won a World Series in this city. I don't get it. Either way,
such a
Michael
shame.
Busch. Let's talk about some NBA talk, shall we, Vince? This is your favorite time of year.
Listen,
the tournament or play-in tournament started. What was it, last evening?
This started yesterday. So for you guys listening on Wednesday, this is also the best time for basketball for you in the NBA as well, because this is when Mikey Bones starts following the game, which I appreciate.
Start paying attention.
Last night was fun. Last night was also pretty tragic. The Lakers and the Pelicans played. The Lakers are always going to kind of be scary if they get into the playoffs, and that they did. The Pelicans should have won that game. And what pisses me off the most is that if you were to watch it or see the replay of Zion Williamson going down, if I say it, non-contact, seemed like a soft tissue injury. Guy messes his hamstring up, and he's out for the next game. So if you guys don't watch the NBA, the play-in tournaments right now, the 9 and 10 seed play for a chance to play the next game. The 7 and 8 seed, whoever wins that goes to the playoffs, and the loser plays whoever wins between the 9 and 10 seed, if that makes sense to everybody. So now the Pelicans have to play again without Zion, who dropped, wait for it, 40, 11, and 5 in 36 minutes and essentially gets himself injured. So now they have to lean on men of the likes of CJ McCollum, Brandon Ingram, and Jonas Valanciunas. And I don't see how that's going to work out too well.
Don't sleep on Brandon Ingram is all I'll say.
All right, but
because
Sacramento is a good squad, dude.
Well, Sacramento, yeah, very good. I mean, De'Aaron Fox is truly one of probably the best players in all basketball right now.
Not to mention, like, clutch time Domantas Sabonis, like,
yeah,
it puts him in a good situation. And speaking of it, I think we can move on to the Sacramento Warriors. Sacramento.
No. I have a question
go
for
ahead.
you, Vince.
Sorry.
Before
Yeah,
we
go
move on, and this is
Yep.
specifically about the Zion.
Yep.
Okay. Is Zion closer to modern day Greg Oden?
No.
Or modern day like Joakim Noah?
He's not Greg Oden because Greg Oden never really played. He played like,
But when
sort
he
of.
did play, he was fucking amazing.
Well, and yeah, at Ohio State, right?
Yeah, but he did
I don't know,
play
his brain
like
farted.
a full season with the
He did.
Trailblazers.
He
and was
did. He
fucking
played-
amazing.
He was very good, but again, he couldn't stay healthy. Zion similar.
Can't stay healthy
Zion's
or under his weight limit.
Zion's
Motherfuckers out
more
here-
explosive. That's the issue in a nutshell. He plays the game like if Derrick Rose was a post player, but he's too big. Like there is something to it where you're like if you're exploding off the floor like that, and that's why I think it might have happened because he is like his lateral movements are intense and he's also a big guy. So you're doing a lot to your hamstring, you're doing a lot to your Achilles, you're doing a lot to your all of your legs in general. And that's kind of why it's I mean,
he's on the Eloy stretching regimen, is what you're telling me.
It feels like it, but also he's going to have to drop some LBs. I know it takes one to know one, but he's going to have to drop some.
Hey, we're a big
isn't
boy
like
podcast.
he isn't like Joakim Noah though, because Joakim Noah wasn't good at offense. Joakim Noah didn't even sniff 40 points. Like Zion's post moves are unreal. Like he is a very good player. Noah was way better at defense than Zion is, but it's one of those things where you're like, I want to see him play well. It gives me like and I know this isn't a 1-to-1 comparison, but it gives me the Mike Trout feeling where it's like, I need Zion in the playoffs and I need 100% Zion in the playoffs. And it feels like we're never going to get it. Like you don't get Mike Trout in the playoffs. He's played one game and that's it. Like,
I feel
that's a
like
shame.
in the NBA, that's when the coaching shines the most is the
Yeah.
playoffs. And if
Oh,
you
for
don't have a
sure.
legitimate coach like a Spoelstra or the guy who cheated on Nia Long, if you don't have
Ime Udoka?
one of those, if you don't have one of those dog coaches, you're not going to be going very far.
Well, Willie Green
So-
is a good coach. Willie Green's gotten a lot out of the team that shouldn't have been as good as they were. And he's been there for 2 years, 3 years now, and New Orleans been overperforming, I would say.
It's another, I hate to say it, it's kind of just like a nothing franchise.
Yeah,
I mean,
unfortunately.
they play in a very small market, and let's face it, their team name's the fucking Pelicans. They're named after a bird.
That was
that eats a
such
lot
a
of
bad
fish.
idea. I love New Orleans. I love the people of New Orleans. From what I've heard, the Pelicans, everybody's like, why are they naming them that? And also, like, New Orleans isn't a basketball place; it's a football place overall.
Yeah.
So, like, again, like I support it and all that, and I like to see them do well. Like, I will put I'll put my allegiance with the Pelicans in certain situations, but also you're like, hey, what are we doing here? Like, what? I don't know. The team buildup is cool. I think they could win, but they do need the number 1 overall pick that they chose in Zion Williamson. And if they don't have him, they can't win. So it'll be interesting to play against Sacramento, but I think Sabonis, I think De'Aaron Fox, I think that entire team makeup is great. Harrison Barnes is scoring. Like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do if you're that team? It's just like the little engine that could. They remind me of the We Believe Warriors from 2010.
Well, I don't see it happening until you move them. because I don't think he'll ever be healthy enough to play a full NBA season in playoffs.
Yeah.
I don't see it ever happening. This
Yeah.
load management shit, all of it, you might as well just have a full-blown, just have 3 playoffs a year. You break the season down into a matter of, I don't know, 3 months, and you just call it a day.
Yeah.
Because these guys really don't try in between, the months of, I don't know, what is it?
Yeah, I mean,
winter?
that's a massive
Now.
blanket statement, but sure.
I know it is. I know it is, but
there are
am I
guys
wrong?
that do. There are guys. I mean, yeah, there are guys that don't try very hard for sure.
I guess
I mean, we've seen
I
that.
guess I just look at the Bulls. So I have a terrible reference point, and
Yeah, but Kobe's a dog. Io's a dog. They were trying all year, and the Bulls might go to the playoffs. Mike, don't you forget they're playing about right now. So
yeah. How? By the way, do we have an update? Let's get an update. Live update.
Let me check.
Live update.
Let me check.
This game will be over
it's
by
at
tomorrow.
It's at 9:30. All right, it's 8:30 local time right now, so we still got an hour.
Well, the 76ers
9:30 for a Central time.
It's interesting. I guess how the NBA has to make more money, but
wild.
The 76ers are looking like they are going to pull out the win against the Miami Heat. It's 101-98 as we speak.
That is crazy. Yeah, 20 seconds left. I mean, shit. Like, it could go either way, but, there's a lot of people. Vegas is probably flipping. Because part of me feels like a lot of people are like, Miami's going to be doing the play-in to try to get into the playoffs. They're probably going to win the whole thing. Like, that's probably what people are thinking because that's happened in the past.
So if Miami loses this game, are they out?
No, they're in the 7 and 8 because the Bulls and the Hawks are the 9 and 10, if I'm not mistaken. Again, I'm not a genius, but I think that's the truth. So if the Heat lose tonight and then they beat whoever the Hawks and the Bulls are the time, then they're still in. So they can still get in, but like, I don't know. I expected them to win it, but the 76ers have won 8 and straight, and now they're in 7th. So,
and they look healthy too.
Yeah,
and they, I mean, hey, with God, what's his name? I always slip on his name.
Tyrese Maxey, Joel Embiid.
Joel Embiid. Yeah, well, he was the MVP last year. I mean, I fucking hope so, right? Bless you, my friend. You feeling okay?
Dude, I'm still a little sick. I'm sorry, but I'm rolling through
it's
it.
All right.
I care about the people.
Vinny's fucking flu game right now.
Yeah.
So we got Sacramento and the Warriors. This game, it just looks like Klay Thompson's just shot, and Chris Paul, he was hoping to ring chase, and it just didn't work out the way he wanted to.
Yeah, it's I think we can close this book on the Warriors the way that they're currently constructed. I'm not saying that they're not going to win again with Steph or anything like that, but the way they're currently constructed, the Draymond, Klay, I think it's just about done. No one on the team played that well, really. Like, it wasn't a good showing. Steph throwing up 22, Andrew Wiggins 12, Kuminga 16. Like, it's not a winning team. Chris Paul, sort of an afterthought, 3-2-1 stat line, not going to do it. And again, you got Keegan Murray, who really came into his own. Keegan Murray drops 32 on him against a team that used to be like the defensive team. Like, when the Warriors were really competing, like, their defense was spot on and their shooting was spot on, which is great. Can't defend Keegan Murray, you're kind of screwed. And it goes back to the double-digit point thing. The Kings have 5 guys in double digits, all over 15 points. And when you look at the Warriors, they have 5, but you only have 1 guy with 22. So you're looking at like a considerable scoring margin difference. And you get Keon Ellis in there, you get De'Aaron Fox with 24. It's like they're too fast, too good. Warriors get old. Chris Paul not retiring, announced. I said this to you. I don't think anybody cares if Chris Paul ring chases. I have no issue with that.
No, not a shot.
Let the man go to like Denver or go somewhere where like they're going to have a good shot. Like, it was essentially what he was trying to do. Chris Paul deserves to win one at some point. Like, it would be such a shame if he retires and he just gets lumped in with all the really good players that never won one. Like, you don't want him to Charles Barkley the rest of his life. That would suck.
No, you don't want that. But then again, certain guys don't know when to quit. And if you look back at this game, back to the statistics, to your point,
Well,
I
he
can
just
say
didn't
that
play. He
word.
played 18 minutes. Like, I feel
Well,
like on
I'm
a
just
couple
talking about
teams.
them as a team.
Yeah.
You know, as an overall 3-point percentage, I mean, they got outshot by almost 15 points. All right. And then if you look at their free throw percentage, one's 93%, the other's 78. So
Yeah.
always the game's won at the charity strike. You got to make your free shots, man.
That's just a fact. So the Warriors are out now. I don't think anybody knew they were going to be a threat. The Warriors being kicked out of the playoffs means that Klay Thompson is officially a free agent. Klay Thompson looking for a new contract. Klay Thompson's been paid a decent amount in his NBA career.
Oh, he used to be amazing.
I don't think his stock's very high right now, Mike.
Hey, you know who'll pay him, Vince?
Not the Bulls.
Oh, that seems like the most Bulls fucking move ever.
No,
but
I don't think so. I think he's going to be too expensive for all the contracts on that team. I see him going somewhere like it's kind of on the brink. That feels like if they bring one more guy in, they're going to be able to do it. It's probably going to be an older team regardless. Like, that's the thing. It's like I just don't think he can run with the young Bucks anymore, which is sad, but it might be the truth at this point. So,
well, he could be a 6-man spot-up shooter.
yeah, but is he going to accept that role? That's the thing, too, is there's a lot of pride in what your role is.
I get it, but if you're trying to win, it just depends what your goals are.
He's
Are
already
you going to
won,
try and be? Yeah, he's won a ton. So you're going to go try and be Ray Allen and win one more and call it a day and go to TV and
That's true.
do your
He's
thing,
won a lot
have
more
more
than
people.
Ray Allen did, though, too, because he only won one in
Sure.
Boston before he went to Miami. I could see him going to, like, the Wizards.
Yeah.
And then just dominating the ball with Jordan Poole. It's just Klay Thompson and Jordan Poole back together. Wizards time.
I could see him going to a team like the Celtics, really coming off the bench, being a nice kick-out piece to Jason Tatum. You never know.
If he agrees to a significant pay cut, I think he could do that. Because also the Celtics are in cap hell right now, regardless.
Or
They
the
got
Clippers.
max players all over.
Or the Clippers.
Well, how are they going to pay him, though?
Yeah,
like,
they have
all
more
these
max
teams are
contracts
luxury
on them.
tax. Yeah, all these teams are luxury tax to shit right now. Like,
Did you hear the last game? What was it in the crypto arena that the Clippers played?
yeah, Ballmer,
They-
the man.
Steve Ballmer picked up everybody's tab.
Yeah.
So if you bought tickets to that game, everything was free.
Yeah, that's so sick. I mean, this is the stuff that I always say. This is what I harp on about stupid billionaires. I hate them all, but goddamn it, I might not completely hate Steve Ballmer.
One game you could give up a couple $100,000. He didn't give a shit.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, how much
Probably
is he
wasn't
making
even
from
that.
concessions from there? Like, he makes like probably that much in the time that they're playing the game. Like, he probably makes that back just in stock exchange. Like, he's like making so much money constantly on the billions he already has. Like, that's a deed of good or like, what is the term? Good. I don't know. It's a good gesture.
It was a good deed. It was a nice deed.
It was
Vince.
a good deed.
But nobody was more hyped than Steve Ballmer at the Windows 95 release. I'm just
Oh,
saying.
yeah, that
after
sweady
it.
guy. What a sweaty dude.
Yeah, Steve Ballmer got
He-
after it, the Windows 95 release.
Yeah, he's the man for doing that. This is the stuff that billionaires should be doing when they own teams. This is the stuff that you should do to own a team. You should make all of your money doing something else and then come in and be like, this is a passion project and I'm going to put money into it. Like Steve Cohen's doing on one side and Steve Ballmer's doing on the other side of the goddamn United States. And you got a couple guys in the middle that are like, hey, maybe I'll just keep making money off this team and not try. Like, you don't want that. Or you get John Fisher's little stinky, fishy, stupid ass. Thank you.
Or Jerry Reinsdorf. We digress. So, as it looks right now, the 76ers won 105-104
Yes, they did.
and went down the wire. So
Close.
the Bulls and Hawks are up next. Okay.
And they will face the Miami Heat. So they'll probably lose regardless. Speaking of the Heat and the 76ers. Okay, so we talked about this a little bit already before, but just for the people. The Cavaliers, before the last game of the season, they chose not to play Donovan Mitchell because of his knee, Darius Garland because of his back, and LeVert because of their knee. A lot of it was precautionary moving into the playoffs. They led the Hornets by 96-88 after 3 quarters. By then, the starters who have all been replaced at that point, leaving Damian Jones Imani Bates, Pete Nance, and Isaiah Mobley on the floor with Isaac Okoro. Strus was subbed in for Okoro with 10:25 to play in the fourth, and they lose the game. Many to be under the intent or idea or whatever, I can't speak today, that the Cavs didn't want to be in their current position at 3, which would, 3. They would have to go against the Heat or the 76ers. So they wanted to dodge them and rather play a team like the Magic, who are less old or less, I guess, skilled, less veteran presence. So they decided to play the Magic instead of the Heat or the 76ers or the Pacers or whoever they end up lining up with. Puts them in a precarious situation, and you said something intelligent, and it's like it's always going to bite you in the ass to do something like that.
Yeah, you never lose on purpose.
Don't play with your fate, dude. Don't play with your fate.
My brother always used to say this line in like the MLB playoffs, which made me die laughing. He'd always be like, "So you think they lose this game of the series so they can go home and win at home in front of the home crowd?" I'm like, nobody chooses to fucking do that. You win when you can win. And this to me just shows, probably why Donovan Mitchell should have never left Utah.
No, he should have.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah, Jazz aren't a very fun time right now.
Well, Danny Ainge has got that team on the right track. And granted, they gave up, Hall, rings a bell.
But I also think they were getting rid of Mitchell regardless. I heard something interesting. I think this might be the last year of that experiment with the two small guys in the front court. If it all comes to pass and the Cavaliers don't make it past the first, I guess, series that they're going to play, regardless of who they're against, if they don't make it past that, like, they're probably going to have to dump Donovan and try something new because it doesn't seem like they do play well in the regular season, but once the playoffs comes around and they don't have a lot of size, like, it's not working out. They have a really good team. They constructed it pretty well, but I would just want to see what they can do in the first couple rounds because if they're all bark and no bite, then maybe some changes are coming in Cleveland, man.
Zach Edey season?
Sure, maybe in the second round or the end of the first or something like that to be a incremental bench piece. Sure. Not hating on Zach Edey. You know Zach Edey's Canadian?
Yeah. He also played hockey. Could you imagine that guy on fucking ice skates?
Oh, no. Saw him on a baseball mound. But my biggest thought was he hasn't made $1 out of NIL.
Why?
You can't when you're Canadian.
Nobody wants.
You have to be American to make money on NIL.
Huh. I'm surprised he's not American.
He could have made so much money, dude. That sucks.
That does kind of suck.
Yeah.
Oh, did you hear that the NCAA changed its requirements for transferring? So now if you have a certain grade point average when you transfer, your time of, that grace period you have to serve, eligibility period, you can now play. So for all these guys taking fucking basket weaving who want to, transfer, they can.
Good.
How about
they're not at school to study, dude. Let's be fucking honest.
Hell no. So Vince, if we look forward in this tournament play, what's the table looking like and how is it going to be set? And what are your predictions? Do the Bulls win tonight? They're going to play the Heat. Whoever wins that game, it's either the Bulls or the Hawks.
Yeah, I am not very confident in the Bulls. I think I'll take them overall, though. Pretty comparable matchup. Neither team very good. Neither team with a winning record. So I think both of them get smoked by the Heat, regardless of who they are. I'll give the Bulls tonight. I think the Bulls win one. Everybody gets a little silly and happy like I did last year, just waiting to have to shave my beard after it. That was a shame. And then on the other
Shout out to
side,
Shaving. You were a great sponsor.
Yes, for sure. Much appreciated. As far as Kings and Pelicans, Kings move on. And then an interesting road because we were talking about 2 weeks ago about who could finish on the top of the West. Is it going to be Denver that was sneaking up, or is it going to be Minnesota? Well, it's neither. It's the team that you were talking about. It's the Young Guns. The Thunder take the 1 seed. I love to see that. Any other year, Chet Holmgren's the Rookie of the Year. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander get MVP talks. And you got a solid young squad around them. Like, they're good. I don't think they're going to win it by any means, but they're good.
Don't you think it's great that I've watched like one NBA game all fucking year, and it was the
Yeah.
Thunder against the 76ers, and I was like,
Yeah.
holy shit, that team's
And
fantastic.
when you said you did, I'm like, how about that team though? And you're like, yeah, dude, they can shoot the lights out of the ball.
Yeah, they can. And they look really good, and they look to be the creme de la creme in the West. It would be really cool to have a Western Conference final of like the Timberwolves and the Thunder. It'd be truly
That would be
fantastic.
cool. And then moving down though, 4 and 5 matchup, probably the most exciting one for me in this first round. Clippers versus Mavericks. Luka and Kyrie versus Paul George and Kawhi Leonard and James Harden and that squad. That's going to be scoring central. Kyrie in the playoffs is lit as fuck. I'm ready to go on this matchup. I think it's going to be great. Timberwolves going up against your Phoenix Suns, Mike.
You know, the Phoenix Suns have like 3 of the best spot up shooters in the league.
Yep.
And their third quarter and fourth quarter offense is abysmal.
Horrifying. Yeah.
And they're not known to be like a defensive team at all. And
No,
they
not at
rank
all.
top 3 in defense in second half. So like it's a total mind fuck.
Yeah.
But hey, if they turn it on in the playoffs, you never know with that team.
Defensive
so much
ranking gets
talent.
interesting in the second half too, though, because if they're either one losing by a lot or if they're winning by a lot, sometimes teams give up. So you just don't score as much in the second half. But that's probably why it's the case. I think there is trouble in paradise in Phoenix. I don't know what's going on specifically, but it feels like those 3 just aren't gelling. I don't know what it is, but it just feels like it doesn't gel. I think there's a lot of like ball dominant players. I think Beal's gotten used to like not having John Wall on his side and being the number 1 guy, and now he's been essentially moved to third. And I don't know, and Devin Booker was kind of alone a little bit too, and he was kind of balling that way too, and CP was just dishing him the ball. I think now you got 3 big scores which could help in the playoffs, but if you have no gel as a team, there's not going to happen. I think that Timberwolves take care of them pretty easy. I'm not going to lie.
I don't think it's going to be. I think let's put it this way. I think it'll be closer than what you anticipate. Playoffs
I'm
are a
sure.
totally different game. They're going to have some time off to really get it together, get healthy. And Devin Booker, I think, is incredibly motivated. And I think him and KD want to make the most of it, regardless of what Bradley Beal is going
Hey,
to be.
2 of those 3 have been to a finals, and one of them has won one. So
That's where I feel like they have an upper hand because of their experience, and that's where the Timberwolves do not.
Yeah, both of them have lost one too. Now looking at the Nuggets and the Lakers, Nuggets take this pretty easy. Yeah, they swept them last year, mind you, and they didn't change their team that much in LA.
He will go. LeBron will go wherever his kid goes, and he's just going to say he played with his kid to play with his kid. And
I think he's going back to college. I'm sure of it, actually. I think he's going to go.
You got
I think
some
he's
sources?
No, but it's just like kind of what I've been reading and what like scout analysts are saying. They're like not even really trying to see. They're kind of just like he's going to go back to college probably for one.
I wonder who said that last week on this podcast.
I wasn't saying that he wasn't going to go back to college. What I was saying is that it was news. That's all I was saying.
It's not fucking news. What it is it has to deal with LeBron James, and for whatever reason,
right? Like, who's famous?
Which
makes it news.
My favorite day in modern NBA history is when that motherfucker retires. Okay,
man, that's spiteful. I see what you're saying, but that is spiteful, man.
He ruined the best years of my basketball team in Chicago.
Yeah,
and for that matter, I hate that person. Well, it's going to be
let's be your basketball team in Chicago, not the Bulls' best years. Let's make that clear, just so people don't come and roast us.
No, the best years in this era.
Right, yeah. I agree. I hated him for a while because of that. I respect the greatness for what it is, but also, like, later.
And then he's a South bitch, so he goes to the South.
Yep.
Pairs up with the dream team, not 6, not 7, not fuck you.
Yeah.
And what do they? Yeah. Okay. So, and then he goes to the Lakers and tries and walks in Kobe's footsteps, and yeah.
And wins one in Disney World. Okay, now on the East side, Celtics are going to go up against likely the Heat, right? No, because the Heat would play the Knicks. That's what it would be. That's a fun like mid-90s matchup. That's a big like
Yeah, somebody
Alonzo
needs to
Mourning,
throw
Patrick
hands.
Ewing. Like I'm ready for people to throw hands. Like that could be real. So you got Knicks and you got Heat if they were able to win. Right? Am I wrong? No, I am wrong. Okay. 76ers won. I'm an idiot. Everybody hold the
Yes.
phone. Miami Heat, if they win tomorrow, are going to get the 8th seed. Or if they win this weekend, they're going to get the 8th seed, which means it's going to be Celtics Heat rematch, which will be fun. Now, whoever is the 7th seed, which now we know is the 76ers, are going to play the New York Knicks.
Which is, to your point, a very 90s matchup.
It is. I want the
You're
Knicks
close.
to play well.
You're close.
I was stupid. I want the Knicks to play well. I really do.
We talked
love-
basketball so well today.
There's just so much going on. It's so exciting.
It is.
I want to see the Villanova Knicks do very well. I think Jalen Brunson is so good. I feel like I've been his like number one fan on this podcast, but watching him play is so sick. Like he's like, get out my way. I'm taking care of this shit. DiVincenzo, Josh Hart. Like I love it. I adore it. I want to see them do well. I don't know if they're going to have the steam for it, but I'm not sure if you heard, Mike. Giannis isn't coming back for the series. Giannis is day to day, and he probably won't play against the Indiana Pacers, who've kind of been on a heater themselves recently.
That team is fucked and has been for 3 months. So, how about that?
Didn't they win 3 years ago?
They did. I said 3 months.
Oh, 3 months. Yeah.
Since Doc Rivers took over, you kind of knew the rest of the season was going to be
So
mutiny.
dumb.
Dame Lillard could maybe carry him, though, because he loves to play hero ball, and he was used to it in Portland. So,
don't forget, it was very important when Doc Rivers got James Harden to the Clippers. He took credit for that. Don't forget that. Tyrese, dog on the other side. Very excited for that. But that could be interesting. If they're not playing good defense in Milwaukee and Giannis doesn't come back in enough time, they might be too fast for him. And then speaking of too fast, Cavaliers Magic. Young teams, a good matchup for young teams. I'll take that every day. Do you think Paolo Banchero is the least respected number one overall pick ever?
Considering I don't know who that is, yep.
He was drafted number one to a team that got the number one overall pick, to a team that was sad and bad. And now they're 5th. And yes, they got Franz Wagner. And yes, they got a squad behind him now that they didn't have before. But, like, dude comes in, plays really well, and no one talks about him. And he was the number one overall pick 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Like, get the boys flowers. Come on.
Hey, I love a good underdog story, Vince.
Yeah.
And, this is really when I start
He's always not been the underdog, though, which is funny. So it's cool that he is.
I don't start paying attention to NBA basketball until the playoffs, literally.
Yeah.
So I'll have far more intelligent takes in like a week and a half.
Yeah.
So just give me a minute. But with that, yeah, he's the most undervalued guy that could be on a team right now.
Number one overall pick to bring his team to the playoffs.
Can we just stop? Like, the Celtics are going to take the fucking East, and the West right now is the only division or conference in the NBA that's up for
acceptable. I disagree.
Who could take the East but the Celtics? They're going
Miami.
back. No.
It could.
Yeah, no, the Celtics are going.
I actually think the West is. I think the West is more open than the East is.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I just believe that overall. And
because I think it's realistic that the Clippers or the Mavericks or the Nuggets could go. So I think you're right. I think realistically, like the Celtics, if Giannis is back, might lose to the Bucks. They could lose to the Knicks if they all don't get super tired. But I could agree with you there. But I don't think it's as much of a shoo-in as you think it is, because anything happens in the NBA come playoff time. We know that.
Yes and no. I mean, at many times it's just like you see these. I mean, you see what the Celtics have done all year, and it's just
but the Miami Heat were 8 seeds both times. Like, you never know what's going to happen.
It's so difficult to do that 2 years in a row. And I understand you can never throw it in there as what's going to happen, and You look at what happened with the NCAA tournament and Purdue and
That's
Connecticut.
even more insane, yeah. And they ended
Called
up
that
going
by-
1-1. So
Called that, by the way.
very
I might
easy
be
to
onto
pick the
something.
number 1 overall seeds on both sides.
No,
though.
bullshit. Either
Where's
way,
the fun?
where's the fun in that? I understand you love a Cinderella story as much as I do,
Yeah,
but
for
I
sure.
do believe the West this year is far more up for grabs. The Thunder
Yeah.
look to be the team, but they're very young, so they may not have the option. Don't count out the Suns.
Betting odds are on the Nuggets, and I get why.
Always the repeat
Best player.
is-
They also got the
he's
best
amazing.
player in the entire league right now. So
Absolutely.
only people that would disagree with me is Philadelphia, but that's basketball, baby.
And now, it is the moment we've been waiting for almost 2 months.
Yeah.
We didn't want to do it too soon, but it is time
Oh, yeah.
for the Taxi Squad competition, the Draft Spectacular.
Woo, right
Stay tuned,
there.
people.
Right there.
Stay tuned for the rules.
What's up, Twitter world? It's your friend, Vince, and I'm here to tell you more about the Taxi Squad Draft Spectacular. So it all starts today, the day this podcast comes out, Thursday, April 18th. You have 1 week. The draft is on the 25th. 30 minutes before the draft is the deadline to finish this. So what you're going to do is go to our page, whether it's on Instagram, YouTube Shorts, TikTok, Twitter, any of those. What you need to do is tag a friend of yours in that post and follow us. After that, you can go to our link tree and you can click on our form, and that gives you the whole rules and everything with it as well. So what you're going to want to do is pick 1 through 10. Who's going to get drafted? So if a trade's going to happen, if any of those things are going to happen, you're just going to fill in who you think is going to be picked in each slot. The tiebreaker at the end is going to be, do you think any trades are going to happen? If there's a tie and a trade happens, whoever gets the trade wins the prize. Easy as that. What's awesome is that you also get an opportunity to win any of that stuff. So to get started, go ahead and hit the little follow button right there. Go ahead and scan that QR code and begin. We're looking forward to it. Good luck. Hopefully you're more right than I am. Back to the show. All right, you guys just heard me. You know the dealio. That post is getting posted today, the day this comes out. So go on there, follow us, tag a friend, and fill out that Google form. And if you feel like you're the next Mel Kiper or Todd McShay, then you're probably going to be wrong. But regardless, whoever wins that, you get some cool Taxi Squad merchandise, some new hot off the presses merchandise. So do it. Have some fun with it. We look forward to seeing your responses, and we hope that someone's completely correct, because that'd be sick. But this is going to be our attempt at it, so let's see how bad we are. That's kind of my thought.
Let's see how bad we are at this, but at the end of the day, I think we're going to be pretty close. And you know what? Maybe we're just the benchmark. And whoever beats us and is the most correct to the top 11 of this draft board wins some pretty sweet merch designed by yours truly. So the reason we chose 11 is because the guy's hat sitting next to me, Vinny Glav, is the Chicago Bears. And as we all know, we've discussed it ad nauseum for the past 3 months. They do have the first overall pick in the draft, traded Justin Fields.
Yep.
And with that, they're on the clock.
So that's going to be a free pick for you guys, by the way. Straight up free pick. So you know who they're going to pick. If you throw Drake May in there to be a troll, funny.
You're an ass.
But not going to happen. Funny. I'll give it to you. Funny, but it's not going to happen. So
But in retrospect, you're an asshole.
So should we get right after it, Mike? You ready to go?
Let's get after it.
All right, who do you think's going to go first?
Oh, this is the most speculated pick of all time. It's Caleb Williams, USC quarterback, Heisman winner, threw 97 total touchdown passes in his college
Where'd he
career.
go again?
He went to USC in Oklahoma.
Oh, I thought he was I was going to say, I remember him being an Oklahoma quarterback. I don't remember the USC thing.
And if anybody's been here long enough listening to this podcast, you would know a gentleman by the name of Norman Nathan.
Yeah.
Plugged that one out many moons ago. And now we've spoken into existence, like this podcast being on a major network.
Yep.
It will happen, and it did happen. So if that's possible, then the other as well. So
True.
there you have
All right, so number 1 we have Caleb Williams. Number 2 is where it gets interesting. Washington Commanders are on the clock. Who do you got, Mike?
I've been thinking about this quite a bit, and I've been going back and forth between 2 separate picks.
Okay.
So with that, it's been difficult to figure out whether it's going to be Drake May or Jaden Daniels. But knowing the offensive coordinator, being the handsome motherfucker that he is, Cliff Kingsbury, I do believe that the archetype that fits his offense the best, the closest thing that is Caleb Williams, is in fact Jaden Daniels. So that's what I'm taking.
You took the words out of my mouth. I think the closer the draft's getting, per usual, everybody starts kind of getting on the same page on a couple dudes. I think it's a means to an end. I think they're absolutely taking Jaden Daniels. I don't think there's any way that they're not. Unless they trade and the Bears, for some reason, move to 2 and pick Drake May just because they love North Carolina quarterbacks. Number 3, New England. So we're going to operate as if they're, like, if we want to think there is going to be a trade, we'll just take the player, just like you guys are doing on the sheet. Do you think they keep this pick, New England?
Gerard Mayo has come out and essentially said that that's happening. They're picking the best quarterback available.
Right.
So everybody's super hyped right now about J.J. McCarthy. And I don't get it. He's like modern day Zach Wilson. Like, he played maybe 23 games and won a lot of them. Yeah. He had wonderful coaching and great defenses and everything that went with that. And the Michigan fans will hate me for this, but JJ isn't it. And I don't think he goes in the top 10, but I digress. So with all of that, I do believe it is possible for a team like Minnesota to come up and take Drake May.
Yeah.
So I still think no matter what at 3, it's Drake May.
I don't agree with you, Mike. I don't agree with you, Mike. I know the smoke and mirrors have been, they're going to take a quarterback right off the bat. Mm-hmm. I don't know if Drake May is going to be the 3rd quarterback taken in this draft, in my humble opinion. I think he's going to fall a little bit. And this is kind of what I've been seeing in some mock drafts, and I'll get to it in a moment. But I think New England thinks they can get value at quarterback later down in the draft. I think they
or Michael Penix.
Right. So I think they either trade up for a late 1st rounder or go 2nd rounder. I think this is where Marvin Harrison goes. I'm going to take Marvin Harrison Jr., and I think they're going to be steadfast on keeping that wide receiver and then building their offense otherwise. Because if you think about it, best quarterback in Patriots history was drafted real late. The last one that they picked that was drafted high, not very good. So, again, it's not going to be the exact thought process, but I think Marvin Harrison goes here regardless if the Patriots have the pick or not.
Well, then who takes him in your eyes? Who trades up then? Is it the Chargers? Is it...
Well, I don't want to tip any picks. I don't want to tip any picks yet.
Well,
but if I think the Patriots end up taking Marvin Harrison, literally.
You think the Patriots just stay steadfast, take Marvin Harrison?
I think they take the most talented player, knowing that next year they're not going to compete regardless. Like, there's a chance for the Bears to compete if Caleb's good because they have a good squad. Like, the Patriots have a lot of work to do to get to that point. So I think they're going to draft talent and then try to get a quarterback later in the draft. That's my thought.
Okay. All right. Let's go to Arizona. Arizona's on the clock.
Arizona. See, okay, so I kind of want to pick your brain on this pick a little bit because they obviously don't need a quarterback. They're going to keep Kyler in my head.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Number 1 receiver after Marvin has to be Malik Neighbors.
Or Roma Dunze.
Yeah, but I think a lot of people are saying Malik Neighbors. This is too early for Joe Alt to go. Part of me wants to think they're going to take an edge rusher, and I'm scared of that right now.
I don't think they have so many glaring holes.
That's my thought. It's like you can kind of fit a lot, but also Kyler could use a receiver.
See, regardless of who picks here, once again, back to that whole Drake May thing,
Right.
I do believe there's some fair amount of movement. Could be the Giants, could be the Vikings still.
Giants
could
are
be
only
even
a couple away.
Denver. Right, because they need a quarterback. Danny Dimes isn't the answer.
Right.
So there could be some options here where there's a trade out or a trade up for the best possible pick. You have a one move option. You're looking at it. I could see Maserati Marv going here regardless of who's coming up to take him,
Okay.
if that makes sense.
So you got Marv.
I got Marv at 4.
I think this is where it gets weird. If New England doesn't trade out of that pick, then you're now sitting in a spot with Arizona that needs to fill more roster holes than just a number 4 overall pick.
Sure.
Part of me feels like this is where the Vikings can come into play. It's either going to be this pick or the next pick. And I think the Vikings move up, and a lot of people are saying this. I'm not the first man to think about this. But as I said, I don't think Drake May's the next quarterback getting taken because I think this could be J.J. McCarthy, dude. I think he could go 4. He's been rising up boards. I don't know why. I don't agree with it. But this happens every year. Some guy out of fucking thin air, they win something. Like even Mac Jones. Mac Jones wasn't supposed to be a high pick. He goes, he wins a national championship. He has a great year. They draft him. He sucks in the NFL. That's kind of the play. So a lot of people are connecting McCarthy to the Vikings. A lot of people think the Vikings like him a lot. The Giants kind of do too, which would make the Vikings move up to this or the next pick. I'm going to take him here. I think JJ goes there.
See, Kevin McConnell, in my opinion, if he had to choose one, I think it's Drake May.
You think?
Or JJ.
But he likes JJ a lot.
Yeah, but maybe it's a smokescreen to wait for May to fall.
Could be.
And that's kind of where my brain is. I still think May goes at 3, and you look at a guy like Sean Payton who likes that. Big, tall, strong arm, throw the ball out of the stadium. So he wants that, and I could see a squad like that coming up for him. But, okay, I digress. We have our ideas there. All right, let's go to the Chargers.
The Chargers. You want to go first on this one?
Sure.
Who do you think?
I think it's Joe Alt at 5.
Yeah? You think they keep that pick?
Although, I do not. So I'm going to backtrack on that for a second.
Okay.
When you look at the best overall defensive player in this draft, a lot of people are arguing if it's
Turner?
the cornerback from Toledo, if it's Gerard Verse, if it's all these. Okay. I think somebody trades up to 5 here and either takes J.J. McCarthy, like maybe a Giants, they move up 1, or you look at a squad either like Minnesota there. So I backtrack. I would have McCarthy going at 5.
Okay. We're a little bit of a swapsies. I don't think the Chargers keep this pick. For the same reason I don't think the Arizona Cardinals keep this pick.
I don't think they keep the pick at all.
There's a lot more work to be done.
Yeah.
For that team. And that being said, I'm not sure who's going to trade for it, but if all goes as I think it will, then there's a sweet little quarterback sitting there at 5, and you can get that a lot better than trading up for the number 3. So I think this is where he goes. I think this is where Drake May goes. I think it's like the weird fall, and I think you get 4 quarterbacks in the first 5 picks outside of Maserati Marv.
Yeah, unless there's always somebody who comes up and takes somebody out of the blue, and you're like, wait, what the fuck?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's the Trubisky of 2017. It's like you never expected that to happen. Only the Bears would make a dumbass pick like that.
True. This is very true.
So.
Okay.
So now we got 6. Now we got the Giants. And now I don't have any quarterbacks. Essentially. Unless you want to go Penix or Bo Nix. But I don't think any of them are getting picked in the top 10.
Gone.
What I do think the Giants could use is a nice little receiver. And I think this is where Malik Neighbors gets dropped off at. Welcome to New York, Malik Neighbors, in my opinion.
Okay. So we got Malik Neighbors at 6. So you think he goes before. Interesting.
I can almost promise you he's going to beat a Dunze.
Okay.
That's how it feels to me. I don't see anything else saying otherwise.
Okay.
Who do you got?
All right. See, this is where I think defense is somebody's gonna want to come up and get the best defensive player available. I got Dallas Turner going at 6. He's
All
by
right.
far talented, proven defensive commodity. He's modern day. Oh, who was the guy who got taken last year? Right after.
Will Anderson?
Yeah, well, he's modern day Will Anderson. I mean, that's the archetype. there.
Well, Will Anderson's modern day Will Anderson. To be fair.
Yeah, well, true, but no, I mean, they both play at the same school. They're very similar play
Yeah.
styles. I
He's
think
a copy pasta. Yeah.
you look at they got Kayvon Thibodeau. They
Uh-huh.
just got DJ Byrne. Like it. Yeah. I think regardless, somebody comes up and takes them, or Giants go full blown defense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Tennessee. This is Joe Alt.
Yeah.
I'm almost 1,000%. The betting odds on it are something crazy. He's like minus 105 to go to Tennessee. It seems like everybody's kind of in agreement. And also their offensive line sucks, and they need a Taylor Lewan replacement because they've been sorely missing it. Joe Alt's that guy. So I think it's pretty simple. Set in stone, Joe Alt going 7. There's another free pick for you guys. Atlanta.
Another interesting pick, depending on who rises, falls, so on, so forth.
Yep.
I think it's Gerard Verse. I think they need to try and build that defense. They got every offensive weapon imaginable. So
Yep. I agree completely with you, but I still got all my defenders on the board, so this is where Dallas Turner goes for me.
Okay.
I think this is like the part of this little spot here is probably the easiest 2 picks to. Like, obviously, we're going for 2 different people, but, like, you know what their identity is going to be in this draft. Like, they already got Kirk. They need a defender. They're going to go defense, regardless.
True.
All right. Back to our boys. The Chicago Bears.
Bears are back at 9.
Joe Alt's off the list for us. We both have Rome available, and we've been talking about Rome. Brock Bowers still available. What are the Bears doing?
I think there is no chance in the world they keep this pick, considering they only have 4 picks in this entire draft, 2 of them being first-round picks. So let's just say they have 3 total picks left in this draft. I do not think, unless somebody's there, unless they're in love with someone like Dallas Turner, like Gerard Verse, and unless they're in love with the defensive talent to pair with Montez Sweat, I still think you need a big bookend at offensive line, which you need to protect your young quarterback. I don't necessarily believe in Braxton Jones being it.
He's good, but is he that good? And also you need depth too.
To me, like, as an offensive lineman, my future brother-in-law would probably agree with this because he played offensive line in college. You gotta be big in the ass. You know, you gotta have a good lower half, and I don't think Braxton Jones has that. Do believe that he can be a smidge of a human turnstile. So
he's a big guy with a basketball build. I feel like that's kind of what I see.
I see the Bears trading down in real life and going with, you know, somebody like an Olafashinu, or there's this kid out of Oregon State everybody's hyping up right now. It's Talise Fuuga. I don't know. I could see them going down.
JC Latham's up there too. JC Latham people are interested in. Big boy for Alabama.
Either way, I still see that happening. But if Roma Dunze's here at 9, somebody's either coming up to take him or the Bears taking him. So Roma Dunze at 9. Done.
Okay, so you're putting Rome. I'm inclined to believe you. Even if they don't trade it, I think it's still the same person. And this is the reason. So number 1, I think it's Brock Bowers. I think Brock Bowers goes here. Brock Bowers visited with the Bears. Brock Bowers is favorited to get picked by the Jets right now. The Jets are the next pick. I think if the Bears don't pick him, and also people are saying Brock Bowers probably has more value playing wide receiver position than a tight end position. So people are saying, we'll see if that happens. Okay. And someone might try.
It's one of the deepest wide receivers drafts of all time.
For sure, but
I'm going to let you finish, but
Brock Bowers is breaking records, man. Brock Bowers is really good himself.
Get it?
I'll take it regardless. Brock Bowers going to go here either to the Bears or somebody else because someone's going to try to fleece it from the Jets. Moving on.
But like, if you look at the Bears, somebody's got like my whole thing is like, what if Bo Nix is their money hungry team wants to come up?
Right.
What if somebody falls in love with?
It's more than likely they get rid of the pick. I'm just saying someone might move up to pick up a guy like that. But it could be a Dunze too, so I'm with you.
It's a tight end. It's just it doesn't for the Bears. It doesn't make sense just because you have two tight ends.
You have Komet and Gerald Everett, right?
Yeah.
But if he doesn't
Last
play tight
thing
end the whole time and he's mixing it, it's always possible.
Okay. All right. So the Jets are on 11, and I think here's where the swap, or 10. Here's where the swap happens. Here's our swap. Here, I have Brock Bowers going at 10 regardless.
Okay. So, yeah, then that's the favorite right now because Bowers and the Jets seems like it's a match made in heaven.
Done deal.
I don't know if that happens because they have a guy that's of advanced age playing quarterback, and they have a line that wasn't very good last year. And they had a line that wasn't very good for 4 plays, that ended up injuring the guy for the rest of the year. There's a fun thought process going in with here, and this is why I brought J.C. Latham up. I think they're picking him up because he's a big Alabama boy that's ready to go. He's 5th for the position. He's actually ranked below Fuaga, excuse me. But yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I can see J.C. Latham going here. I'm gonna pick him. That's kind of a wild pick, but I'll take it. I'm trying to change it up a little bit right now.
Okay.
Minnesota 11. This is it.
My mind goes to a Bo Nix or something along those lines, but I do believe that somebody does something interesting here, and I still think we could get 5 quarterbacks in the top 12. So
Yeah.
I think Michael Penix gets taken.
He's the next
somewhere
guy
through
over
here.
Bo Nix.
Yeah, because Bo Nix is just very system based, and somebody will
old.
like that. And
He's an old guy.
Michael Penix, man, throws a gorgeous football.
Yeah.
I feel like somebody gets dumb and comes up and grabs him, and
Yeah. I can see it. We're
so there's
now
my dumb pick. There's my dumb pick.
I like it. I support it. Okay. This is where I think Arizona's going to land. I think Minnesota and Arizona are going to swap these picks. So JJ goes 4, which means that Arizona's at 11. Arizona kind of needs a wide receiver, which is why they would stay and pick up Marv. But if they don't, guess who's still here, Mike? Roma Dunze. So I'm picking Rome for 11.
Okay.
I got Rome going to Minnesota, or to Arizona, rather. Minnesota's pick going to Arizona.
Fair
That's
enough.
my final pick. Do I think all that's going to happen? No, but that's the fun of it. So do your own thing.
Last year, if anybody remembers Mike's mock draft shortly before the draft, I was right with the top 7 picks.
That's true,
and
actually.
It wasn't for any guys of just like, I didn't call out trades, I didn't say anything, just called it. And that's how it worked out. And you never know. Vinny could be right this year. Maybe you're right this year and you win some amazing Taxi Squad gear designed by yours truly.
That's true. Do it. Have some fun with
us.
it. Make us laugh a little bit. I'm ready for it. And we'll be posting. We'll be on draft night, so check us out. You'll obviously hear from us before that ends up happening, but please have fun.
Do we go live? Do we go live on draft night, Vince? Do we
go live?
Do we give the people what they
That's-
want and go live?
That's
Maybe
a
you
silly
guys join
idea.
us for a live, and maybe we announce the winner after the first round, or maybe after the
could.
11th pick. That could be fun. That'd be
Maybe
a
a lot of math to do. That'd be a lot of math to do right after it's over.
That'd be a lot of math for us. Chances are
Maybe we'll
be
announce it
having fun.
after a couple hours.
I just think the next episode. We'll just lean it to the next episode. But Vince, before we go, okay, are there any takeaways you have from this draft outside of the top 11 that could potentially just blow some people's minds?
I think this draft is very weird. I think
Same.
we're accustomed to having a top 10, 15 corner, couple edge rushers going out. I think this is definitely quarterback heavy. I think there's a lot of teams that don't need quarterbacks too, or that are in the middle where they don't know if they need quarterbacks or not. So I think it's possible that like Kool-Aid McKinstry is like a top cornerback in the league, and he might get picked 26th. Like
His
that's kind
name's
of
Kool-Aid.
Yeah, I know. I don't even know if that's his real name or not, but that's what people call him. So, I think that's my biggest takeaway. I think I'm less confident about this than I have been the last 2 years combined. Besides Caleb, that's happening.
I would agree with that, and it's incredibly odd. I feel like there's always one player that falls or shoots up draft boards.
Yep. Aaron
My
Rodgers,
name-
Zach Wilson. There you go.
Right. My name for jumping up draft boards this year is this Talise Fuluwaga.
He might go
has
top
the
10,
potent-
yeah.
He may go top 10 or maybe even top 5 if somebody likes him over Joe Alt. Fingers crossed for that, because, man, if the Bears could get Joe Alt, you
At
have a
9?
bookend
Oh,
forever.
all day. Dude, can you
Forever.
imagine first 2 picks from the Bears are from USC and Notre Dame? It's a taxi squad combo.
It would be the most epic taxi squad combo ever. And Cole Kmet's even come out and said that he's willing to play with a dude from USC, because, like, once you're there, you're there. But
Right.
it's going to be a great draft.
Yeah, what's he supposed to
And-
say he wouldn't?
Yeah, you'd be like, nah, trade me. No, trade me. I
Okay.
need another Notre Dame quarterback, which there hasn't been a good one in a really long time.
Hey, but there's a top 3 that did go there, so I'll take it.
Who's that? Oh,
Joe
Joe Alt.
Montana. No, I'm
Oh,
saying
well,
top 3
Joe
quarterback of all time.
Do you know that the Bears could have drafted Joe Montana but chose not to?
The Bears could have drafted all 3 of what people consider the best quarterbacks of all time, and they didn't draft any of them. So could have gotten
let's
Tom.
Let's hope
Coulda
we get it
gotten
right
Pat.
this time.
I
Let's
think
hope
we
did it right this
I
time.
think we will, because I'm dumb and optimistic for no reason. So let's run it, baby.
do this every time. We did this not with Mitch. We were both not high on Mitch.
No.
We were both very high on Justin, but
Yeah, our
you
most
know what?
popular TikTok ever was from that draft. Getting excited about that.
It really was like 180,000 viewers on that one
Yeah.
or something. It was bananas. But, you know, in the words of Mayor Hawthorne, I think it's going to be better the second time around.
I like that.
Okay.
Well done.
All right. So with that being said, everybody, we appreciate you coming in to this great Draft Spectacular episode. Next week is going to just be a great breakdown of the same. So we're going to go into the picks. We'll announce the winner on that podcast. So be sure you tune in, because you got some great gear headed your way. And with all of that, once again, we're going to tell you to do the thing. So subscribe, and also like it, share it, and particularly maybe you share it with your brother, your sister, your brother, maybe from another mother. I don't know. But the only thing I know is we'll be back doing the same thing next week, and we'll see you then.
Peace.